Bott. Director Bott is absent. Director Curry.
Present.
Vice Chair Deere.
Present.
Director Garza.
I'm present.
Director Harrington.
Present.
Director Kim.
Present.
Director Ryder. Director Ryder is absent. Director Robinson.
Present.
Director Sorrell. Director Sorrell is absent. Director Story.
Present.
Director Webster Cross.
Present.
Thank you. And Chair Taylor.
Present.
Debbie, I see Director Sorrell is on, but she didn't respond.
Maybe,
Okay,
maybe
I will
muted.
circle back,
Okay.
see if I can see if there's maybe an audio issue. Thank you. You do have a quorum.
Thank you. Pursuant to the Illinois Open Meetings Act, meetings held remotely will require roll call votes for all action items. To streamline, we'll combine the action items into a combined motion. Meetings of the CCH board and its committees will be held remotely until otherwise noticed. Due to the determination that a public health emergency exists, the next regular meeting of the board will be held on Friday, February 24th at 9 a.m. The first item on today's agenda is employee recognition, which will be reviewed by Ms. Valerie Amos. Ms. Amos?
Good morning. This is Valerie Amos, Chief Human Resources Officer. Thanks for allowing me to share the recognition this morning on behalf of Mr. Rocha.
Can you see the slides?
I can, thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Kiran Joshi, CCDPH Senior Medical Officer, and Kathy Chan, Director of Policy, were selected to participate in the 2023 class of the Civic Leadership Academy, CLA, by the University of Chicago Center for Effective Government at the Harris School of Public Policy. CLA fuels an exchange of ideas across Chicago and Cook County that provides and improves practices and civic outcomes while spurring greater collaboration and innovation across our institutions. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Joshi and Kathy Chan. Next slide, please. Dr. Kalani Parimo, Medical Director of Hemodialysis Services, was named to the National Kidney Foundation of Illinois' Kidney Disease Prevention and Education Task Force. The goal of the task force is to increase awareness and prevention and treatment of kidney disease, which affects 37 million Americans. Please congratulate Dr. Parimo. Next slide, please. Dr. Anita Asama, family and community medicine resident, for being chosen by the Society for the Teachers of Family Medicine for its 2023 Faculty for Tomorrow Resident Scholarship. Dr. Asama, who cares for patients at the Inglewood Health Center, wrote a compelling essay about making a difference in family medicine. Cook County Health earned special, my apologies, please join me in congratulating Dr. Asama before we move to the next slide. Thank you. Cook County Health earned specialty pharmacy reaccreditation by URAC, the nation's largest independent healthcare accreditation organization. Pharmacies that achieve URAC's specialty pharmacy accreditation demonstrate the highest value in delivering enhanced clinical services to patients, providers, payers, and manufacturers. Please join me in congratulating the pharmacy team. Next slide, please. Cook County Health's marketing team, led by Karen Stanzik, has won 2 more awards. The My Shot campaign has earned a silver award from the Healthcare Digital Marketing Awards. This is the 14th award for our COVID public education campaign. Additionally, last year's County Care Choice campaign called County Care is There won a gold award from the Healthcare Digital Marketing Awards, making it the 5th award for the campaign. So congratulations to Karen Stanzik and her amazing team. Next slide, please. Okay. So we will move on to the welcoming of some of our external hires for this past month. We'd like to introduce Director of Utilization Management and Care Transitions for our health plan services, Safarat Adilakan Adebayo, Sherry I apologize for mispronouncing, but most importantly, Sherry is our Executive Director of Clinical Services, Health Plan Services. We have Jalen Cobb, Utilization Management Program Manager of Health Plan Services, Jeremiah Franklin, Project Manager of Health Plan Services, Andrew Gillen, Project Manager, Health Plan Services, and Lane Harmon, Project Manager, Strategic Planning and Implementation. Next slide, please. We have more. Clementha Ingram, Nurse Coordinator 2, which is on the 4Flex department. Chitua Kawambi, Manager of Community Health Workers at County Care. Jennifer Rosinich, Director of Planning and Analysis Quality Assurance. Jasmine Sanchez, Project Manager, Health Plan Services. Marco Shelby, Director of Care Coordination and Complex Care Management of Health Plan Services. Next slide, please. We have some promotions to also share with you. Very proud of these. Sarada Calderon, Assistant Administrator for Medicine Administration. Jessica Chapman, Senior Manager of Integrated Care Management Programs, Health Plan Services. Shirley Contreras, Manager Complex Care Coordination and Health Plan Services. Amy Deschanel, Senior Manager of Complex Care Coordination, Community Care Coordination. Deanna Derica, Director of Public Health Policy Prevention Services, and Marissa Gomez, Ambulatory Clinic Manager for ARPA, Behavioral Health Support and Expansion. Next slide, please. More promotions. We have Chinyera Akora, Nursing Clinical Staffing Manager of Nursing Administration, Tijuana Parker, Director of Pharmacy County Care, Michelle Olson, Senior Manager of Complex Care Coordination, Community Care Coordination, and Catherine Arthuran, Manager Complex Care Coordination for County Care. Please join me in welcoming our new employees in leadership as well as our promotions. And again, my apologies for mispronouncing anyone's name. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Amos. Welcome and congratulations to all. We appreciate it. First, I'd like to acknowledge that Director Jay Bott is present, as is Director Tanya Sorrell. We're going to take my report out of order today. First, I'd like to welcome 2 new board members who have joined us, Mia Webster Cross and Tanya Sorrell. Appointments to the CCH board were approved by the county board at their meeting yesterday and were effective immediately to fill the seats of Mike Ketting and Heather Prendergrass. Welcome to the board, directors. Heather Prendergrass has briefly joined today's meeting so we can recognize her work and efforts over the years on the CCH board. Mike Ketting was unable to join us today due to a scheduling conflict, but we'll also take a moment to recognize his work on the board as well. Dr. Prendergrass served on the CCH board for over 4 years, since being appointed to fill a partial term in 2018 and being reappointed to the board. Dr. Prendergrass has been a member of the Human Resources and QPS committees for the entire time she served on the board, and served as chair of the Human Resources Committee since 2021, as we know, a very, very busy time. Mike Ketting also served on the CCH board for 4 years. He was appointed chair of the Audit and Compliance Committee shortly after he joined the board and has served on the Managed Care Committee for his entire term. Both brought different yet invaluable skills to the board. Mike has an extensive background in hospital administration, managed care, and strategic planning. Heather is a practicing physician, professor of emergency room medicine, and also engages in research projects focusing on minority health and associated health disparities. The CCH board, the administration, staff, and the residents of Cook County are fortunate to have had Dr. Prendergrass and Mike Ketty serving on this board for the last 4 years. They have dedicated an incalculable amount of time, expertise, and passion to serve and carry out the mission of this health system. We wish both of them continued success in all their future endeavors, and we sincerely thank you. Thank you for your service to our board.
Can I say something?
Thank you. Yes, Dr. Prendergrass.
Can you guys hear me? Okay. So no, I just want to really quickly just say thank you, Chair Taylor, and thank you to my fellow former board members. It really has been a pleasure and an honor to serve as a member of this board. I believe wholeheartedly in the mission of this institution. It aligns with my passion on both a personal and a career level that our communities need more, not less, and quality health care and access are at the top of the list. I'm very proud of the initiatives that have moved forward while my time on this board. I'm not far away. In fact, I'm just across the street. So thank you all.
Thank you. We thank you again. I see a number of directors have raised their hands and want to have some words before you leave us. I think the first in order was Director Story.
Good morning, everyone. I would just like to echo the chairman's comments about Mike and Dr. Prendergrass. Dr. Prendergrass, has been my pleasure to get to know you. You know, I joined the board and didn't have a quote orientation in the midst of a pandemic. And I'm grateful for what you and Mike lent to my orientation, because it was a while before I had a structured orientation to the board of directors of Cook County. So I thank both of you all for lending your support to me personally, and for all the great work that you all have done in support of the citizens of Cook County. So thank you, and God bless you both going forward.
Thank you. I think the next was Director Harrington, going this out of memory, so you have to forgive me. Director Harrington.
Thank you, Chair Taylor. I also want to commend both Dr. Prendergrass and Mike Ketting. Dr. Prendergrass, I want to really commend her for her commitment to her patients, because I know she's a practicing physician, and that takes up a lot of time, and to take time and spend time with us, I think that's extra added value for us to have someone that's actually working with patients on a daily basis. And also I want to commend Mike Ketting as former chair of the Audit and Compliance Committee, role which I now have. And I did ask Mike for his cell phone number, and he's not here, but I do plan to seek his counsel out when needed.
Pleasure. Vice Chair Deere, thank you. Vice Chair Deere.
Thank you so much, and good morning to everyone. I do want to congratulate Dr. Prendergrass as well as Mike Ketting for a wonderful 4 years. The time flies really fast. I think Dr. Prendergrass, you and I probably were coming on at the same time, or at or about the same time. Thank you so much for just being a great voice on this board. Thank you for the work that you're doing currently, not only on the board to push the notion of African Americans in health and the healthcare disparities, but what you do outside of the board as well. Thank you for being a beacon of hope to our youth. I always had tons of questions for you. As you know, my daughter wants to be a pediatrician. You helped to put her on the right path, so I'm grateful to you for that. And just thank you for being you and your help both personally and professionally. You have just been awesome. Thank you for your leadership also on this board. I want to thank Mike Ketting for the same. It's people like both you, Heather, and Mike that makes this board turn and makes it do the work that it does for the greater good of the hospital and the residents of Cook County. So on behalf of all the board and the 5.2 million residents in Cook County, we thank you for your service and we are greatly appreciative. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you. Director Garza.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First, I want to say that I've learned quite a bit from both members. Mike Kenny I've known for several decades. So it was great to have an opportunity to work with him in the few years that we overlapped. So I want to thank Mike for everything he's done to contribute to making the county health system a better system. And then I have the awesome responsibility of succeeding Dr. Pendergrass. My only regret there is that I didn't have more time to work with her. She gave me an excellent debrief orientation just earlier this week on what the role includes. I've had the benefit, like we all have, of observing. She's been a strong advocate for the HR function of county health system, but also knew when to ask critical questions as well. And at the end of the day, from what I can tell, I can see that the system is much better for having had both of these committed leaders as part of it. So thank you. I will take you up on walking across the street if I need your support. So thank you.
All right, perfect. Sure you will. I think last is Director Curry.
Thank you, Chairman. First, I'd like to extend my thanks as well to Dr. Prendergast. My big regret is that over these 3.5 years, I believe we only got to meet once in person because of the virtual platform that we use. But that one in-person live introduction, the conversation that we had, I carry with me to this day. And it was the burning passion that I felt and heard as we discussed some of the issues that we're facing the county. And I knew then that under your stewardship that we were certainly going down a very good path. And thank you for your tenure as the chairperson of the Human Resources Committee, these last 2 committees. And we're well prepared to continue forward. But I would just like to again say thank you for your passion and your dedication and commitment, and that you won't be too far from us being just across the street. Thank you. With respect to Mike Ketting, I've also known him several decades. Probably I've known him in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the zeros, the 10s, and the 20s when he was a staffer with the Illinois Health Facilities Planning Board. And I was a neophyte bringing my first application before that board, and that staff does a lot of the review. And just let's say, as a young guy at 23, 24, then I learned a lot from Mike about the do's and the don'ts when you submit these types of applications, and we've remained friends over those years. And Mike is just somebody, when he opens his line as we review things always, not a question, but a comment. Somehow those comments in the commentary turn into some searing, deep questions that I believe help all of us. Our ears perk up, both on the analytical side and on the content side. So I'd like to, again, say thank you to Mike and recognize him for his long dedication to support of this board and the entire healthcare community here in the city, the county, and at the state level. Thank you, Mike. You will be missed. Thank you.
Thank you. I believe that's all the directors. If anyone else wants to speak, let me know. And then if not, CEO, Mr. Rocha.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to both extend my appreciation to both Director Ketting and Director Prendergast for their excellent service to the board, and thank them for always providing counsel to me and for challenging us to be better. That is all we could ever ask from our board members, is to challenge us to be better, to be a counsel to provide great insight on how we could run our system better, and to challenge the work that we're doing so that we can serve our patients better. They both were excellent members to me and to the entire Cook County Health family. So on behalf of the entire Cook County Health team, I want to extend my appreciation to both of them and congratulate them for amazing service and wish them well in their future endeavors. And I always say, once a member of the Cook County Health family, always a member. So look forward to continuing to work with you.
Yeah, that's correct. Thank you very much. And again, Director Dr. Pendergrass and Mike, in your absence, we thank you for all you've done for us, and we wish you the best. Thank you. We're going to take the next item out of order as well, as Director Garza has an unexpected conflict and must leave us a little early. So we'll review the HR metrics now, and then we'll take the public testimony right afterwards. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, thank you for accommodating me. And also want to thank you and the board for giving me the opportunity to serve as the chair of HR committee. So as I said, I look at that as an awesome responsibility, especially following great work of Dr. Pendergrass, but also take it very seriously. So thank you. The Human Resources Committee did not meet this month. Their next meeting is scheduled to be held on Thursday, February 16th at 12 p.m. Committee is due to present metrics. So Ms. Valerie Amos, and I also would like to say that I'm very much looking forward to working with her. I've been so impressed. She's joined the county health system, and of course the work that her team does. As we know, she is the chief of our Human Resources Office. She will review the metrics today. No motion is needed. The metrics are presented for informational purposes only. I'll pass it over to Ms. Amos. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Garza, and welcome. I'm really excited to work with you. And Dr. Prendergast, thank you for all of your support and continued service over these past several months. Could not have done it without you. So Godspeed and thank you so much. I have the privilege again of presenting the metrics. I'm Valerie Amos, Chief Human Resources Officer. In terms of FY23, we thought we'd reset the clock and share the first month of hiring year to date. So first month, December 1 through December 31st, we have now filled 119 positions in that first month. This does include internal and external, and I can share the breakdown in a couple of slides from here. The top positions that we feel, the top 4, are listed in the slide presentation. And directors, for your convenience, those numbers are listed in the notes section of the slide as well. So as you can see, a number of clinical positions have led the top 2 areas, nursing as well as patient care support roles, respiratory therapy, and then we move to 3rd, administrative clerical, and 4th, our service and maintenance group. 93 hired, which is listed below. Those are the ones who have physically started or moved into their positions. So we always like to call that out, even though we have people who have accepted the position, they may not have started with us during the same month. So we wanted to crystallize that for this group. In terms of offer declinations, we have continued to track that. And so we had 16 offers decline. The primary reason at this moment has been for other competitive salaries at either their current employers or within internals. We're looking at, some salary concerns there, that those concerns are being addressed on a market review process as needed. So external hiring velocity to the right. Those external positions, we brought in 72 individuals from outside of the organization. We've also have been tracking the time to offer. So we've been managing that at a 20% decrease. And then, of course, the number of days compared to FY22 for days to offer, we've shaved that down for a month, so 31 days. In terms of the field positions, again, over the past 4 months, just kind of looking back, we had a notable increase in the month of November due to some job fair candidates who were starting. And so as you can see, 119, we are still well above where we were months ago. Next slide, please. So with hiring, we also look at the other side of the coin, which is turnover and separations. As you can see to the right, the graph depicts quarter 1 through quarter 1 of FY23. So as you can see, there's been a notable difference. We've decreased based on separations from December of this year compared to FY22, almost 23%. The turnover is 1.6% year to date, and 73 of those separations were due to retirement. As I've mentioned before, we do have a very tenured workforce, so we're excited to have so many experienced individuals who work with Cook County Health. But on the other side of that coin, people do leave our organization for retirement. And that's why we have been really focused on commitment to hosting job fairs on a monthly basis. And we had our most recent set of job fairs this week. And so I think we're all excited about those fairs. On Tuesday, we hosted an event and we had over 180 attendees. And then yesterday's job fair that focused on nursing, we had 43 attendees. So as we looked across what our needs were, we felt like job fairs were definitely a need for this organization. And thank you all for promoting the job fair flyers, as well as you've probably seen a number of our marketing materials on our website, as well as our social media channels. In terms of turnover, we are still well below the benchmark average, which is listed there for FY22 compared to 21, those national benchmarks. So we will continue to monitor this closely. Next slide, please. Just looking at a monthly depiction year over year, we thought we'd take December and look across the last 2 fiscal years. As you can see, 93 kind of leads the pack for 2023, and then the breakout of internal versus external is listed below. We still believe that it's important to showcase our internal progression because that helps with retention. So we've shown a notable increase in that number as well. So this includes a number of the promotions that you saw and heard from earlier today. Next slide, please. We thought we'd break out the separations the same way over December. As noted, we have 90 separations for the month of December, which is slightly lower than the previous 2 fiscal years. The bottom graphic depicts the number of retirements, and as you can note, the darker blue, we had the 73 external, retirements. The lowest for the month of December was last year in terms of I apologize, there's something not quite right here. Well, 90 total, and then 73 were retirements, and 67, my apologies, were retirements for FY22. So again, we are seeing a total number of decreases for our separations, but we still have quite a number of retirements during this particular month. Resignations leads the next pack here. As you can see, for FY23, we've started off at a very low number, 15, so we're very proud of that. As you can see, last year, we had 47 resignations, and then discharges, it's pretty much de minimis. Next slide, please. December turnover, 1.6% year-to-date turnover as compared to the previous fiscal years are listed there. And we thought it would be important to just break out the number of employees versus the separations and turnover in more clarity for you as well. So we are still tracking and trending that, as well as working on retention efforts within our organization. Next slide, please. So I've concluded my metrics. I will accept any questions. Mr. Harrington?
Yes, my question is around retirement. And so what is our process when someone announces their retirement? What is our process for filling that vacancy? Do we wait till they're actually retired, or do we start working on filling that vacancy? The other question is the aging of our workforce and what we know about potential retirements moving forward. Is our workforce such that there may be this tsunami of retirements all of a sudden based upon where people are in age and time and have an opportunity to retire? So those are my two questions.
Yeah. So I think your first question talks about the our kind of process in terms of retirement announcements. Our team receives those retirement announcements typically from the management within the departments. And so we will certainly start the process as soon as we understand that there is a need. Of course, we can't necessarily post a new job without having kind of our cleared what we call a position ID. But we definitely do work on sourcing strategies so that we can ensure that there is a pipeline of candidates as soon as we understand that someone is retiring, as long as there is notification to our team. We post positions all of the time, and if there's an opportunity for us to utilize a pool of candidates or make outreach to those candidates, we can do that as well so that we can have that talent pipeline. And then in terms of the workforce, I did in fact provide some stats before at one of the previous meetings. Perhaps allow me to bring that information back to you, and I can send that through our secretary so that I can get the right information. But we did have quite a number of tenured employees with the organization, which is great. In terms of forecasting and what we'll need to do to get ahead of the curve, we certainly need to bring in more external hires. And that's why we are focused on committing to host those job fairs on a monthly basis. So I can commit to getting that information to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
No problem. Dr. Bott?
Hi, good morning. Great to be with
Good
you all
morning.
today. Thank you so much for that report and your hard work. The slide that talked about the hires, are you all tracking filled positions compared to open and the percentage, and if their progression of closing open positions, and kind of having that visually depicted?
Sure, we can certainly include that on a visual basis. We do track time to fill, time to hire metrics, and I can showcase that information. I will tell you our time to hire, we still are striving to improve it. When I started here in June of 2021, we were on the higher side and we still have not driven it down to the benchmark standard. However, for FY22, the positions that we received in FY22 and closed in 22, our time to fill metric was 106 days. And that seems like a whole lot, but that's an average of individuals who are physicians, frontline staff, looking across though positions that we acquired prior to FY22, that number was higher. And so what we've been attempting to do, Dr. Bott, is we have additional resources here. Some of our vendors, such as Slalom, they've been refining our data. They've been giving us additional solutions so that we can track and trend in an accurate manner, since some of our systems aren't integrated. And so I can definitely provide the time to fill metrics and how we need to continue to drive those metrics down. We have improved tremendously, certainly tremendously, over 200 days down to 106. I think it's a tremendous improvement. We still have a ways to go. And so those monthly job fairs, we offer contingent offers on site so that there is no time to fill there. Once it's posted, we typically post those positions about 14 days prior to a job fair so that we can give it ample amount of time. Those postings have already exhausted the internal process. So just by virtue of following our guidelines, our time to fill metric may be lengthened just based on the internal posting process of 14 days, and then we post externally for these fairs. Happy
Great,
to
as a new-
depict that in the
yeah.
upcoming meetings.
Great. As a new person, that's helpful to understand and
Mhm.
appreciate. You know, it's a journey, so
It
happy
is.
to support and help in that journey and with ideas and wherever I can be useful.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Director Robinson?
Congratulations on that 50% reduction. That is major. Absolutely fantastic.
Mhm.
So, and I'm glad you gave that number because that's the number I was going to ask for. And given that, have you thought about the possibility of tracking the costs associated during that 106 days that you would have to spend on the other type of people that you may have to put in that slot that costs more? And then looking at that number and saying, okay, is it possible that we can set up a system where the person who's retiring, since that seems to be the largest section of what's causing the pain, saying, okay, if you give us 100 days or 120-day notice, you get this type of a bonus, and if you assist us with helping to find a good replacement, it can be increased. I'm trying to get everybody working.
Incentives.
I like your questions, actually. Well, the first one, I'll take that one. Hopefully I've written it correctly. So tracking costs as it relates to our vacancies. As you can hear on our finance, committee meetings, we talked a lot about the agency requests as well as the spend. So I have been collaborating under the direction of Mr. Rocha with our CFO and our county's team members, the CFO now, and as well as the budget director and Slalom, who's our external partner. We have devised an executive dashboard so that we can understand as we bring people in, how does that hopefully decrease the associated agency dollars as it relates to FTEs. So we are embarking upon that journey. We need the analytical data to support what is happening. If we bring in 12 nurses, we need to see at some point, maybe not day one, but as they become functional, as they become, able to absorb a full team of patients, that they are fully functioning, then maybe 6, 8, 12 weeks, whatever the training period is, we should then see 12 FTE in value be depicted on that agency report. So I'm working very closely with Pam Kasara, our Chief Financial Officer, as I mentioned, as well as other members of the Cook County team so that we can identify what that trajectory looks like. The second question, setting up, I believe you're speaking to employee-based bonuses in terms of referrals. Is that what you were speaking to, Director Robinson?
That was a part of the question. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, I'm very happy to say for the first time, I believe, in the history of the organization, we were able to bring recruitment and retention bonuses to the organization. And so we have not expanded to employee bonuses. We certainly want to ensure that we're going to be as contemporary as possible, which is why it was important for us to, draft a proposal and share it with our county colleagues as well as the Board of Commissioners and this board so that we are competitive in the market. So we are attracting talent at the job fairs. We are bringing in individuals with our recruiting bonuses, and we are currently in impact bargaining with all of our labor teams so that they can review all of the all of the proposals that we've shared with them, and hopefully we will get their endorsement so that we can move on with paying out our employees and recognizing them. We have not expounded, though, to employee bonuses for referrals, but perhaps that's something we can look at in a different time, since this is a pilot for us and we're very appreciative of the opportunity to be able to share this with new recruits as well as our existing employees. We want to recognize everyone. Thank you for that.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Maybe I would, can I
Sure.
add something? I think
Yes.
Director Robinson was also speaking, if I heard you right, Director Robinson, is for notification, if there are
Correct.
incentives,
That's a
for
big piece of the puzzle.
retirement.
You are correct.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
That as being
Because
part of the
I
piece.
know we're in that will state, so we
Yeah.
don't necessarily have to give us so much time.
No, and I appreciate that. That's something for us to explore. And I think it's, again, we love creative ideas and creativity and really becoming more contemporary is what's going to, I think, continue to propel us to accelerate the hiring efforts and retention efforts. So I received that and I'm happy to take it back and we can certainly look at it. Thank you for the recommendations. Director Curry? You're speaking on mute.
Thank you. Yeah, not a question, but a comment.
Sure.
First, I want to thank you for the statistics that you shared relative to turnover in RN. And I also looked at that source that you used, the NSI National Healthcare Retention, top to bottom. The numbers in there are eye-popping and alarming with these double digits now approaching 27% across the board. So I just wanted to share two statistics that I also gleaned in terms of the cost impact that I know we are all aware of, but it doesn't hurt to put it out again. Each of those nursing vacancies associated with putting in temporary and travel nurses exceed $200,000 annually. And when you get into some of the numbers, and we were doing it in allotments of 20, you're over $4.5 million. So it is just breathtaking in terms of the enormity of this crisis now. So I want to applaud you and your team for being diligent and being focused on that, because there is a true impact. These aren't pennies, nickels, or dimes. These are real dollars. So we'll continue to track this as we move forward. And if you want to share that source with the entire board, the other directors, I think would be useful and helpful for them to take a look at the impact. This is a brand new report, so it's contemporary and current. So given that light, we are actually performing fairly well against the national norm right now, and our trajectory certainly is going in the right direction. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Curry. Debbie, if you could post that the presentation back up and go to slide 3. I want to just share that link with all of the members so that they are aware of which report Director Curry is referencing. Just very quickly, my apologies for the delay. At the bottom, you'll see the source information here. It's NSI National Healthcare Retention and RN Staffing Report. If you could click on that link, you'll find a lot of information, as Director Curry mentioned, or copy and paste it in your browser so that you can see that report. I thought it was helpful so that we can start looking at benchmarks and really comparing ourselves to those national statistics. So thank you, Director Curry, for bringing that out. I noticed I didn't mention it in my report, but it's very useful. And that's what I drive towards. I think that it's helpful for us to just be on the map. Any additional questions? Thank you so much.
Thank you. We appreciate it. The next item is public testimony. Madam Secretary, do we have any speakers who registered to provide virtual oral testimony? As
we
a
have one
reminder,
registered. Oh, I apologize.
no, please go forward.
We have one registered speaker, Demario Adams. Demario Adams, are you present? I do not believe that they are present, and I did not receive any written testimony for the record.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We'll move to the next item. Next on the agenda are the board and committee reports. The minutes of the December 9th board meeting are being presented for your approval. Approval will take place in the combined motion later in the meeting. Are there any corrections or revisions needed to be made to the minutes? Hearing none. I would also like to acknowledge that Director Ryder has joined me as well. First, we'll have Director Harrington will now review the Audit and Compliance Committee meeting minutes. Director Harrington.
Thank you, Chair Taylor. The Audit and Compliance Committee met January 20th, 2023 at 9 a.m. The meeting minutes include the following action items: receipt and filing of the following reports: County Care Compliance Program for fiscal year 2022 annual report, and the Cook County Health System Provider Compliance Program for FY 2022 annual report. The next regular meeting of our Audit and Compliance Committee is scheduled for Friday, April 21st, 2023 at 9 a.m. The committee did go into closed session to receive the closed meeting reports. A summary of that information will be provided when the board goes into closed session. Because there were no Audit and Compliance Committee action items associated with closed session, the minutes can be included in the combined motion for action items. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Director Curry will now review the Managed Care Committee meeting minutes.
Yes,
Director
good
Curry,
morning.
there you go. Good morning.
Good morning. The Managed Care Committee met on Friday, January 20th at 10:30 a.m. There were no action items. The next regular meeting of the Managed Care Committee is scheduled for Friday, April 21st, 2023 at 10:30 a.m. The committee did receive a report from Aaron Galiner, Chief Administrative Officer of County Care, and we reviewed and discussed that report and included information on the following subjects. The County Care Plan metrics for its operations. We also reviewed some of the strategic domains that had been developed by the staff, including growth and retention information, fiscal resilience, and equity. Those were discussed at length. We also looked at the 2023 strategic planning for moving forward for this year. And out of that, there was a follow-up request in this regard to Cook County COVID vaccination rates. A request was made for additional data based on the demographics, race, and geographic heat maps to where these instances are taking place. That information will be included in the next committee report in April. If there are no further questions, approval of these minutes will take place later in the meeting in a combined motion.
Thank you. Director Kim will now review the Quality and Patient Safety Committee meeting minutes.
Yeah, good morning. I have two meetings to report on. The Quality and Patient Safety Committee met on Friday, December 16th. And our next committee meeting will be on Thursday, February 16th at 10:30. So the committee received reports from several individuals, and what we discussed during the report included the HRO dashboard. The committee reviewed metrics on the following subjects: the 30-day readmission rate, case index, the medical and surgical MSDRG, top box scores, patient experience, and the HEDIS measures, particularly hemoglobin A1C. There was some discussion regarding the patient experience and reasons for a low survey response rate and initiatives that were implemented to improve this rate. And the administration will look at other best practices and will follow up in our March meeting. We received regulatory and accreditation updates. We received EMS and MEC reports. The committee approved the following action items, which are included in the minutes. They approved Stroger and Provident Hospital medical staff appointments, reappointments, and changes. And the minutes are being presented for the board's consideration as part of the combined motion to be made later in the meeting. The Quality and Patient Safety Committee also met on Thursday, January 19th. And again, our next committee meeting is on February 16th at 10:30. We received several reports, which are all included in the minutes: the HRO dashboard, We reviewed the following metrics. Again, the 30-day readmission rate, the case mix index, Cox box scores, and HEDIS measures, including the hemoglobin A1C greater than 9%. We received regulatory and accreditation updates. We also received nursing operation updates, which are included in the minutes. And during our discussion, we were particularly interested in slide 14, which you can see regarding further information on initiatives being implemented regarding some of the action items on that slide. And Dr. Peters will give us further follow-up going forward. We also received EMS and MEC reports, particularly for Stroger Hospital and Provident Hospital. And the committee approved the following action items, which are again included in the minutes. Approved Stroger and Provident Hospital medical staff appointments, reappointments and changes. We did go into closed session, but we're not expecting to re-review that information. So the minutes are being presented for the board's consideration as part of our combined motion later this morning. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Director Ryder will review the Finance Committee meeting minutes. Director Ryder.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Finance Committee met last, sorry, having a hard time pulling my notes up. The Finance Committee meeting met on Thursday, January 19th at 9 a.m. The next meeting of the committee will be held on Thursday, next February, also at 9 a.m. I will get you that date in a second. We're not planning to have staff re-review reports and contracts from the meeting. However, they will be up on the screen. The committee considered the following action items, which are included in the minutes. We conditionally approved 34 contracts and procurement items, some of which are pending review by contract compliance. On the screen, you'll see the contractual requests from the Finance Committee meeting whose fiscal impacts are greater than $1 million, which are highlighted for your information. With regard to request number 24, which is increased with VIA Workforce Solutions LLC for contract management, nursing registry services, we had a robust conversation around that. The committee receives a regular report on that contract. There was a question on how often it is supposed to be presented. So that question is being verified and determined, and staff has assured us that we will make sure that we're on a regular reporting schedule. Because there is a contractual request being requested, that contract director Deere requested that information be provided in an interim report, which I believe staff is working on. We received and filed grant award related items. The committee received the following reports, which are also included in the minutes. Minority and women owned business enterprise report, a report of 2 emergency purchases, a report of the interim fiscal year 2022 financials. The action items, reports, and presentations from the committee meeting are included in the meeting minutes. If there are no other questions on the information, the minutes are being presented for the board's consideration as part of the combined motion to be considered later in this meeting.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Chairman, without any questions, that's the report.
Thank you, Director Ryder. I don't see any hands. Madam Secretary, I believe you had some additional information.
Yes, I was going to mention that the next Finance Committee meeting is on Thursday, February 16th at 9 a.m. And I did not give the information to Director Ryder on the pending contract compliance items. They are numbers 3, 7, 8, 11, 16, 17, 18, 24, and 36. Those are the items from the Thursday Finance Committee that are still pending review by contract compliance. Just for the record.
Thank you very much for the update.
Thank you, Debbie.
Thank you again. We do not have any contracts being presented directly to the board for consideration. So if there are no other questions on the minutes and action items being presented for consideration, we can move on to the combined motion. Debbie, you can take the screen down now. I'd like to entertain the following combined motion to approve the following. Item 4A, December 9th board meeting minutes. Item 4C, January 20th minutes of the Audit and Compliance Committee meeting, which include the fiscal year 2022 County Care and CCH Provider Compliance Program annual reports. Item 4D, January 20th meetings with the Managed Care Committee meeting. Item 4E, December 16th minutes of the Quality and Patient Safety Committee meeting, which include the Stroger and Provident Hospital medical staff appointments, reappointments, and changes. Item 4F, January 19th minutes of the Quality and Patient Safety Committee meeting, which include the Stroger and Provident Hospital medical staff appointments, reappointments, and changes. And item 4G, January 19th minutes of the Finance Committee meeting, which include contracts and procurement items and grant award related items. Do I have a motion?
Director Harrington.
Thank you, Director Harrington. Do we have a second?
I second.
Thank
Karen
you, Director.
Kim.
Thank you, Director Kim. The combined motion has been made and seconded. Madam Secretary, please take the roll call vote on the combined motion.
Roll call vote on the combined motion. Aye or nay, Director Bott? Director Bott? May have stepped away. Director Curry?
Aye.
Vice Chair Deere?
Aye.
I was
Director
getting my, sorry, I was getting my, my Teams to work, right? Aye.
Director Deere, did I hear an aye from you, Director Deere?
Yes, correct. Deere
Okay,
is aye.
thank you. Thanks. Director Garza? Director Garza is absent. Director Harrington?
Aye.
Director Kim?
Aye.
Director Ryder?
Aye.
Director Robinson?
Aye, with the exception of a request to number 2 under the contracts and procurement items contained within the finance committees, which I would like to be recorded as voting present.
Thank you very much. Director Sorrell?
Aye.
Thank you. Director Story?
Aye.
Director Webster Cross?
Aye.
Chair Taylor?
Aye.
And circling back to Director Bott, are you present?
Yeah, so my apologies, trying to get my Teams mute buttoned up.
Thank you very much. So you have 11 yays, 1 absent, and Director Robinson's present vote on request number 2 under the Finance Committee meeting minutes.
Thank you. The ayes have it. The combined motion carries. The next item is my report, which was already provided earlier. So we'll move on to the report from the CEO. Mr. Rocha.
Good morning, everybody. Want to get started first by talking about our community mural project. We're very excited that Cook County Health, with support from the Cook County Health Foundation, has selected local artists to lead hospital-based community murals project at 3 health system sites. The goal of the project is to build trust and engagement between our health system sites and the communities to promote healing, build neighborhood pride, celebrate local culture. The artists were selected through a rigorous process. Criteria included the demonstration of prior collaborative community engagement, artistic excellence through a portfolio review, understanding of how to work with materials suitable for a healthcare setting, application of one of our 4 proposed central themes, which included honoring the past, transforming the future, joyful, aesthetic of joy, healing community, and together as one. An interview with the members of the selection committee. These are the criteria that were used. The artists and the space include Damon Reed at Providence Hospital, Ellie Sebastian at Cook County Health Professional Building, and Lorelei Permant at Blue Island Health Center. This is a project that helps to engage our community, to bring in the life of our community into our healthcare settings, and to bring joy and beauty into our healthcare settings to make sure that they are a place of healing on a comprehensive level. And so we're very excited about this project. We look to expand it after this first initial series, and we look forward to having the viewing and the opening in short order. And it's a wonderful project because not only would it have the artists, but our staff themselves get to participate in the creation of the art. So it will be a very special program where everybody can come together, be a part of watching this artwork come to life, and then remind us all of why we are here is to serve our patients. Do we have any questions? All right. Next, I would like to recognize our Chief Diversity and Inclusion Officer, our Chief Equity and Inclusion Officer, Ms. Shannon Andrews, to talk about a very special event that we had. Ms. Andrews, are you on the line?
Yes, thank you, CEO. This is Shannon Andrews, Chief Equity and Inclusion Officer. On Saturday, January 21st, the Office of Equity and Inclusion partnered with the Graduate Medicine Education Program's Diversity and Equity Inclusion Subcommittee to host this pilot event, which invited underrepresented in medicine resident applicants to Cook County Health to hear firsthand from the diverse staff here at Cook County Health about the opportunities here at the organization. The applicants were brought in on a Saturday morning, and they were able to hear from our URIM executive leadership, from attending physicians, from house staff. They were then taken on tours, and they came back where they participated in a panel discussion from current residents of the program, and it was followed by lunch. It was a pilot program that we were very proud to kick off very specifically with 4 programs: pediatrics, internal medicine, family medicine, and anesthesia. We did this as a byproduct of some work that we're doing with the ACGME Equity Matters organization. That's an event or a group of hospitals that come together to talk about ways to improve representation at hospitals here in Chicago and in Cook County. And so we were very proud of the pilot. We definitely plan to roll it out. I would be remiss not to talk about the hard work of the subcommittee, which included Dr. Whitney Lynn, Dr. Gail Floyd, Dr. Rosabel Arcia, Dr. Anita Sama, and Dr. Benjamin Imba, and others. And so it was a very successful event, and we're looking forward to growing it. Thank you. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Ms. Andrews, and then also all of the medical staff who participated and their innovation in making sure that we are creating special opportunities for all members of the community to be part of our history here at Cook County Health. And our history starts by creating our future. And so we're very excited to make sure that we are being a place of inclusion and of welcoming people to be able to be part of our organization. So we're very excited by the event. It was very well received, and everyone, including our staff members, remarked how special they felt the event was. So thank you, Ms. Andrews, to you and your team, and to all of the clinicians who participated and our physicians for making that happen. I see a hand raised. Director Bott.
I just wanted to echo the tremendous work this is around diversity and inclusion, and I think it impacts public health and bringing more of those people that reflect the communities we serve in public health, and happy to be helpful and supportive on that.
Thank you so much. If there are no other questions or comments on that, we'll go up. So from time to time, we'll be bringing forward a strategic plan update on highlighted projects that have been completed to be able to inform the board on how we're progressing. So we're very excited this month to bring forward some updates on some key projects. First, we were able to have our staffed bed complement at Providence expand up to 38. This was just in time as we were seeing a higher census and driving an increased amount of patients, thanks in part to the commencement of our ambulance runs, but also to be able to be there for the community during the RSV and flu surge. And so we're able to modify our accommodations, train our staff, and make sure that we expanded our care environment in a safe manner to ensure that we could treat and be there for our community. So we're very excited. Congratulations to the Provident team and to our operations team and our clinical teams for making this possible, as well as our nursing teams. Thank you for your hard work and for helping us to make sure that we were there for our community, and we continue to operate at the 38-bed level. We also want to give special recognition for completion at our cardiology and rheumatology. They have expanded to more of our health centers, and so as you are aware, we have over 13 centers throughout the community, but we are creating some that have larger specialty care access. So instead of having patients have to travel all the way to the either to both our hospital locations, we can actually be there in the community, so they can increase visitation and visitation ease and be able to have that ongoing continuity of care at one single site location, which is always our goal, to make healthcare access seamless and easier for our patients. And so we're very excited. I want to commend our cardiology, rheumatology, and ambulatory care team for working to take our specialists out to the community so that we can create additional access for our patients and make it easier for them to be able to receive the medical treatment that we need. We also launched a nursing externship program, which allows us to continue to create development and career pathways for our nursing team. This is one of the things that we have heard is a key recommendation from our nursing and clinical staff, that they would like to have career pathways, journeys, and opportunities to grow within the system. And as we talked about earlier, and you saw HR metrics, one of the ways to retain our staff is to make sure that we have new and exciting opportunities to grow. And so we want to congratulate our nursing team for creating this nursing externship program. Also, we want to thank County Care for launching an emergency meals program. This is a new initiative for when patients are needing nutritional assistance, and as part of their care, they're able to have an emergency meals program to be able to reach out and provide families in distress emergency meals, or if they have clinical condition that prohibits them from being able to receive the nutritional assistance that they need. County Care and its team is able to work with them. And so we're very thankful to our County Care team for finding new ways to be able to reach to our patients. This is part of our strategic plan and many pillars, from equity, inclusion to growth and optimization and transformation, and how we could be able to be there more for our community. So I want to thank our County Care team, and to our quality team and our commitment for quality and clinical excellence. I want to thank our quality team, our emergency department team, and our internal medicine teams for coming together to do a rapid improvement around sepsis and how we can do better. As we all know, sepsis is a condition that usually results from delayed care. A lot of our patients sometimes come to the hospital once serious conditions have manifested themselves. And so sepsis is one of the ways that we can ensure safety and lower mortality and morbidity of our patients. And so really want to thank our quality team, our emergency medicine team, and our internal medicine team, and if I forgot anyone else, and our nursing team, for coming together to be able to create a united rapid improvement event over 2 days to review all of our policies, our processes, and how we could do better to be the nation's leading provider and to reduce sepsis and hit the top 1% performance level in the country. So we're very thankful for that outcome and look forward to having more updates to you once it is fully implemented. They did some excellent work as a team. Also want to be able to say that our new policy system, which tracks all our policies across the organization, ensures best practice, and ensures compliance, is up and running. And so it's a new way to be able to have all our policies reviewed. It also has new wonderful search features and systems where you can search anything that you need to know about anything in our hospital, and it will immediately pull up the policies, training, and programs that you should be able to have. Also want to congratulate our Cook County Department of Public Health mental health campaign, where they're able to launch and work with our community on Here to Hear You to further destigmatize the need to access mental health and to give individuals the information they need on where they can access mental health. Also, we have substantial implementation of new financial software that helps us to become a more efficient, agile, and fiscal resilient system. And then our Cook County Health system-wide cut over to Cisco Voice Internet Protocol is complete, making us, again, a technologically resilient organization as well. So these are just a few of the highlighted projects that we want to bring forward to the board to let you know that we are progressing on our Impact 2025 plan. In speaking of change and improvement, change really comes from the front line up. And sometimes while we may have very large strategic ideas and initiatives of where we want to go, one of the most important things that we can do to help identify and improve processes, communication, and care access across Cook County is to hear from our front line. What are their issues that are most impactful to them? What are the things that are bothering them? And sometimes the biggest amount of change comes not from a large strategic plan, but from an inefficiency that is plaguing a staff member, duplicate forms, something's broken, something's not right. There's processes that we haven't thought of that are creating concerns, and maybe they have ideas on how they can streamline those processes, make it easier for them to work, and improve their environment of care, improve their daily routines, and to make our system stronger. So to do this, Cook County Health is launching the 100 Ideas for Change campaign. This is an opportunity where staff will have the opportunity to offer suggestions to address clinical and administrative process improvements, employee engagement, staff and patient safety issues, technology, and more. Eligible suggestions and solutions that improve day-to-day environment in every area, facility, or system-wide will be forwarded to senior leaders to review, evaluate, and address the situation. All part-time, full-time, and contract employees for Cook County Health are encouraged to submit suggestions. Submissions will be submitted via an online form starting in February. Then we will be bringing to the board, celebrating the different ideas that are selected and showing how our staff from the front level all the way to our management level are helping to drive our system forward and institute change in Cook County Health. And so we look forward to bringing our change champions to the board and showcasing their innovations, ideas, and strategies to be able to make our organization stronger. The road to change and improvement and resilience starts with every member of our team being fully engaged, and so we're excited. And we have heard a lot from our team, the amazing ideas that they have. So we want to celebrate in this campaign. We're recognizing those teams and celebrating their successes. So very excited about this campaign and bringing that information over to you. Also, you have the media dashboard that's attached. I won't go over that. You can look at that on your time. You have the full CEO's report that we submit to the board. And in closing, I want to have two special statements of recognition and appreciation. We want to give a special thanks to commissioners and the CCH board member, Dennis Deere, for his generous contribution of toys to cheer up our youngest patients over the holiday. Every year, Commissioner Deere organizes a toy drive to benefit our patients. On December 21st, President Perkwinkle joined David Evers and Melva Brown-Lee from Commissioner Deere's office to deliver the toys to Stroger Hospital. This brought a lot of cheer to our families and our outpatients who sometimes do not have an ability to have a celebrated gift for the holidays. And so we want to thank for this generous contribution. And then we also, as we talked about, want to again thank our medical staff for their diversity initiative and their equity and inclusion initiative on helping to be able to ensure that all individuals from our community are able to be part of our organization and to be able to recruit the best talent around the country to come work at Cook County Health. And so we're very excited, and we have those two recognitions. You also heard the amazing recognitions by Ms. Amos. And so with that, I submit my report to the board.
Thank you, Mr. Roach. Appreciate it. The board will now be going into closed session, and action is not anticipated to be taken in open session after the closed meeting has adjourned. I'd like to entertain a motion to go into closed meeting pursuant to the following exceptions to the Open Meetings Act. 5 ILCS 122 C 1, 11, 12, 17, and 29. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved.
Second, Director Harrington.
Thank you. The motion has been made and seconded. Madam Secretary, please take the roll call vote on the motion.
Roll call vote on the motion to go into closed session. Aye or nay? Director Bott?
Aye.
Director Curry?
Aye.
Vice Chair Deere?
Aye.
Director Garza? Is absent. Director Harrington?
Aye.
Director Kim?
Aye.
Director Ryder?
Aye.
Director Robinson?
Aye.
Director Sorrell?
Aye.
Director Story?
Aye.
Director Webster Cross?
Aye.
And Chair Taylor?
Aye.
You have 11 yeas and 1 absent.
Thank you. The ayes have it. The motion carries. Director Zyla, please join us in the closed session.